Okay.
You mentioned a variety of improvements to education in South Carolina. When you are elected to the South Carolina House, where will you, okay, I'm sorry, I lost that word right there.
Where will you start?
Start, okay. Start, and what actions will you take to initiate the change?
Well, I think you will find that I am a person who likes to collaborate with others, and so I will immediately find the other legislators who are interested in education, and there are always bills that are coming up, and so understanding those bills, using the expertise of others who know about some of those programs, that'll be where I start. Is you've got to find the people who share the passion with you, because when you start introducing a bill, you can write all the bills you want, but if you can't get a co-sponsor or sponsors, then that means that you got an idea that's not going to work. Where's it going to go? So the networking and collaboration with others will be really, really important. And then when you start looking at budgetary things, I really believe that we have to reform the tax code, because we've had a commission, and Bobby Harrell talked about this as well. We've had a tax realignment group that really has looked at ways to realign our taxes. And we have to, I believe, put our people first. If we start with what we want, then things will fall into place. But when we give this tax exemption for this one, and another tax exemption for some other little niche things, that doesn't work. So we really have to focus. We have to look at that, and then when the budget comes up, just look to see what's being funded, and then say, wait, what are our priorities? So you'll see me, as I said, I'll be pushing for early childhood education, good programs at high school, technical schools, building the partnerships between business, the public, the private partnerships, making sure that our technical schools and our colleges know the kinds of programs that they need to be offering so our people can get the jobs that they want. And I heard something this morning which I thought was really interesting, and it said we need to focus on manufacturing, and then the service jobs will fall in line, because people will have the income if we can get to the manufacturing level. And so so we got to start. We got to start with the kids, building those little things with Legos and working on robotics and problem solving so they can do that. All right, I want to be sensitive to the fact that I would like to hear from you. So I'm looking at my watch, and I wanted to hear the concerns and interests of people. Do we have one more question? Oh, okay, all right.
I have two questions about Folly Beach. Folly Beach is in your district? Okay. It says Folly Beach is in desperate need of funds for beach renourishment. What would you do at the state level to help with that? And then Folly Beach has just, I don't know if this would be a state problem, but Folly Beach has just banned alcohol on the beach. Some businesses are hurting. What would you do to help these and other businesses struggling through economic hard times? I don't know if that...
Well, I think it was, let me take the second one first. I think that it was very interesting how the Folly Beach community got behind what they wanted, and you saw the dynamics. I went to their the first town council meeting, and there were just tons of people there on this particular issue. And I think Folly Beach is an issue, is an example of a community coming together and making a decision. And they worked with, their views, and I think that they're tracking on businesses. The latest I heard in talking with a couple business owners was they said it wasn't bad, that it wasn't hurting them. So, I think that that's a Folly Beach, kind of issue, and the legislature isn't going to be able to make a decision for that community, but that community can work on it. And if there are things that businesses feel that the legislature can do, you know, I'm open to listening to the ideas, but I don't have any particular ideas on my own. And the second thing with the beach renourishment, you know, Folly is a special situation. Geologically, those sands shift. I mean, if we did not have the jetties, Folly Beach would probably be a receiver of sand versus, I guess Kiowa and Seabrook would still get sand, but Folly would get it. But we have the jetties and we have a port, and so we have a responsibility to renourish that beach. It's not the homeowner's fault that that the sand is moving away, and so. I know that there are federal funds for renourishment. I think we need to push our federal people to look at the laws, because if you get a hurricane or you get a terrible storm, that can wash away the sand very quickly. And when you've got, I think it's, Susan, you might be able to tell me, is it 2 year or what's the timeline between renourishment? What's the cycle? Every how many years?
I think it's 8 years.
8 years. That can be a long time if you've got a catastrophic storm. So I think we have to look at communities like Folly Beach and then push for legislation that lets that happen sooner if that community is suffering. Because if you don't build it up, it will degrade even more. So that's kind of how I think of it.
I appreciate what you're saying there, because the jetties were built to help the port, and they're causing the erosion.
Right.
So we could legitimately ask for assistance for that.
Right.
Is that-
Right.
Okay.
Are there any other questions I haven't answered?
Yes.
Okay.
I've got one here. Well, what are your thoughts on green energy for South Carolina?
On what?
Green energy.
Energy. As a biologist and environmentalist, I like the idea of green energy. I think we need to encourage our universities to continue to do the research, and when projects are brought up to the legislature that could be supported, I think that's good. I mean, I know I've got somebody in here with the sweet potato project, in which they have found a lot of energy to be available through that biosource. Well, I think that it's an important thing to research and see if that isn't a solution. But I think we have to come up with some energy solutions. I mean, we are using up our resources, and we have to figure out how to conserve and how to use, do things more efficiently. That's why George and I drive the smart car. Okay, what else?
Okay, have you taken a position on I-526 extension? And the second one is, if I vote for you, can I vote a straight ticket?
Okay. All right. I'm going to read you my position on 526. As you can imagine, with the 4 communities, I mean, we are all over the place in how we view this. So this is my position. The issue of traffic and road safety and the completion of 526 are tremendously important and incredibly complex. Certainly more complex than could be evaluated by a single question survey that the DOT wasted taxpayer dollars on. Today, the completion of I-526 has gone from county council to the state DOT, back to the county council. So this is like a baseball or a bouncing ball going all over the place here. So my thoughts as someone who wants to represent you is that this is a community issue that should be resolved by the communities of James Island, Folly Beach, Johns Island, Kiowa, Seabrook, and the city of Charleston. Now, that makes this complex. But these communities must come together on a plan with long-term and short-term solutions that are suitable to all the communities and can be supported by County Council as it returns to the Infrastructure Bank with a compromise plan to solicit funding. And it is important that the process is transparent and fully educates the public on the options, the costs, the timeline, the benefits, and the consequences of the proposed plan. In the meantime, we need improved traffic flow and improved road conditions for greater safety. We can and should move to synchronize our traffic signals. That's an easier solution. On River Road and Maybank Highway, as I travel back and forth between these communities, it seems to me that we could work to create some turn lanes that will allow traffic to flow and not get backed up when somebody is trying to make a turn. Should a plan be presented that the communities accept, and I think that's a really important piece, is that the communities must come together, and I will do everything in my power to move the plan forward in the legislature, but that's, I see, the first step. So.
Here's another question.
Okay.
How do we vote for you?
How do you vote for, oh, how do you vote for me? Okay. All right. If you vote straight party ticket. Well, if you vote straight party ticket either way, Republican or Democrat, if you vote Republican, you miss me. If you vote Democrat, you miss me. So here's what you have to do. If you vote straight party ticket, you will have to find me as SC House 115, and then there will be the Republican candidate listed. Don't think there's a Libertarian trying to get this ballot. And then I will be listed, Carol Tempel, as petition candidate. And if you voted straight party ticket, you have to check my name, and then that will uncheck whoever you have voted for as a straight party candidate on that particular office. So you have to literally go in, find my name, push the button for my name. And then the most important thing of all is that, you know, there are school board candidates, and you need to scroll through, and at the very end, cast your ballot. We thought that there were some 10,000 people who thought they had voted, but if you don't hit the button at the bottom that says cast your ballot, you don't vote. So that's really important. Okay?
Carol, could we clarify that one more time?
Sure. All right. If you vote.
She's voted straight Republican ticket. Now, your opponent's name will be on that.
Right.
And so at that point, she has voted for your opponent. But if she goes back up, scrolls up, finds a petition candidate, finds your name, and plugs that in, that will uncheck his name.
Right. Right. So you have to do something. You have to be an active voter to get me. I'm on the ballot. But we can do this. Remember, I got over 5,000 write-in votes years ago, so I know you all are smart. You can do this. So, okay? Where's the feedback?
At each of the tables, we passed out some yellow forms that we hope help solidify your thoughts. And what Carol wants to do in Columbia is to lead, but one of the things you've heard her say is that she